Hello everyone, Michael Wolfe for WatchReport.com. Today I'd like to show a brief video on one of the latest Lum-Tec watches model. This comes from the RR series and has the designation of RR5. There's a ton to really appreciate and like about this particular watch. Lum-Tec's done a very good job of combining a vintage look with a little bit of a modern flair as far as some of the changes to just the way the case is constructed to make it look a little bit different than your typical round case, rounded lugs kind of wristwatch. So I wanted to start off by showing what it looks like on a 7 3/4 inch wrist, and I wanted to get a good view before I actually let the movements start flowing around there. And a lot of wrist presence on 7 3/4 inch wrist. The case is 43 millimeters, so just a lot of wrist presence without being too tall. As you can see, this watch is actually 11 millimeters thin, so pretty thin watch for 43 millimeters. So let's get this off the wrist. Well, let me show you this. I always talk about Lum-Tec watches and their straps. Love their straps. The quality of their straps are fantastic. I've got this in the 4th hole, and it's a little bit too snug on my wrist for my taste. When I move it down to the 3rd hole, not as much tail through the keepers, and it's a little bit too loose. So I don't know if hole placement or just a lengthier straps would be a great choice, but this could pose problems for people with weird wrist sizes like mine. So just keep that in mind. Great strap. I mean, really high quality strap, but if you have a strange wrist size, you might find yourself floating somewhere between, say, for instance, like me, the 3rd and the 4th hole. So let's get this off, talk about the watch a little bit. And let me wipe off the case back before we get going here, so I won't have to worry about that. So here we go. Really, truly, like I said, a fantastic looking modern watch with some vintage flair. So 43 millimeters on the case. It's 47 with the crown. As you can see, it does have a PVD finish. Now, what makes Lum-Tec's PVD finishing process different than most other companies is it is a titanium carbide PVD coating, which just increases the overall abrasion resistance of this particular coating. Now, I'm not going to sit here and take anything to the coating on this watch just to see how easily or how difficult it will be to scratch, but this particular coating should hold up better than just the typical PVD ion plating or something like that. So great feature for this watch. Before I go on and talk about the other features, I did want to mention that this retails for $795. So it's very in line with other watches, other micro-brand watch companies, based on what you're going to see in the specifications. So again, titanium carbide PVD case finishing, so a greater abrasion resistance factor. Now, when I mentioned earlier about the case not being the typical rounded case with rounded lugs, I don't know if my video will do it justice or not, but I did get some photos of it. As you can see, the lugs, instead of just being rounded and simple, actually have some angles to them. There you go. So quite a bit of a modern design with the angles on the lugs. One of the other great features about Lum-Tec watches, screw down crown. The crowns are typically oversized compared to a lot of watches, especially at 43 millimeters. I'll have the exact measurement of the crown in the written review, but I think I measured it at 8 millimeters, or really close to 8 millimeters. So now, one of the things that that Lum-Tec is known for, and they quote it out in their specifications, are the gasketing systems on their crown. So it helps with water resistance and other factors. So nice water resistance for a watch that isn't a dive watch. It's 100 meters water resistant. Now we have a large sapphire crystal, and as you can see, it is AR coated, and it is underneath AR coating, so you're not going to have to worry about any chipping, scratching, or so forth on the exterior, and having to worry about getting that replaced or peeling it off or anything like that. So now the vintage aspect. I have never been a fan of brown dial watches, and a lot of watch guys have not been fans of brown dial watches. But this glossy brown dial is absolutely striking, and you combine that glossy brown color of the dial with the vintage numerals and lume and so forth. It just pops, and it just looks absolutely fantastic. Now, going to have the MDV lume technology. It's going to have the 8-layer application of the lume on these markers and hands, just like any other Lum-Tec piece. And let's see if I can get it. See if I can get the lights off here for just a second, so you guys can get a good. That was just a quick. Held it under the light for just a quick second. There you go. Famous for their lume, fantastic lume, lasts a long time, lots of afterglow. Going to be able to tell the time still in the early morning hours when you're getting up for work. So, date window positioned at the 3, and it is quite large and legible. Very clean dial, not cluttered, very specific limited branding. Just a great looking dial. Movement, as you could tell, it was an automatic movement the way the second hand was floating around the dial. And here we have the ever popular, and again I smudged that up. Let me wipe this off again. The ever popular Miyota 9015 automatic movement. Just truly a fantastic movement. It's been very reliable, probably plus 5 to 10 seconds a day, somewhere in that range so far. You've got the very specification information, limited edition, sapphire crystal, so forth on the back. And it is a limited edition. There's only 100 pieces made. Now, talking about the straps again. Well, I've got this on the back side. Titanium carbide PVD coated case, really great. And this is on most, if not all, of their coated watches. They will supply straps with the quick release pin that you can see right there, and that really helps out and cuts down on wear and tear of the lugs of the case. So again, finishing off, nice PVD coated sign buckle finishes off the strap. So great watch. Just another stellar piece from Lum-Tec watches. And again, $795 is the price point. Sapphire crystal, titanium carbide PVD coated case, Miyota 9015. Just everything that you can ask for in a casual dress watch is probably where I would classify this, more casual than dress, but appropriate for pretty much any setting that you're going to be faced with. So I would like to thank Lum-Tec for working with Watch Report on this review. Would like to thank each one of you for watching, and stay tuned for our next video presentation here on Watch Report.